times get hard, and we're here to help at NorthPoint.
Hello, welcome to NorthPoint's Making Health Happen. My name is Lisa Castile, your host for the program. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This series is being brought to you by NorthPoint Health and Wellness Center. We want to connect with you about topics in health and wellness that impact our community, and we want to provide you with practical tips and resources you can use. We will feature guests from our team here at NorthPoint and around the community to talk about health and wellness issues most important to North Minneapolis. Together with our guests, our community, and you, our listeners, we are partnering to create a healthier community. Today, we will be discussing nutrition, a topic that has a major impact on all of us. And joining us today is Jacob Christensen, one of our registered dietitians here at NorthPoint Health and Wellness Center. Jacob has been a registered dietitian for 4 years, and we've been blessed to have him here at NorthPoint for the past 2 years. Jacob has worked in healthcare for 8 years, including hospital, nonprofit, and management. He served a 2-year term on the Twin Cities, Minnesota Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics Board. He received his undergraduate degree from St. John's University and his master's degree from Kaiser University with an emphasis on community nutrition. Jacob has a fur baby named Jet, and I just learned that he and his wife are expecting a baby soon. Outside of work, Jacob enjoys the 3 F's, family, football, and fishing. We are thrilled to have him in the studio today talking about nutrition. Welcome, Jacob.
Hi, Lisa. How's it going today?
Good.
Right.
I got stuck on that dietetics. Is that how you say it?
Yep, dietetics.
Oh, that is a mouthful.
It is, especially, that's what we call it, the man board, so it's just easy to say. When you said the whole thing, it was
okay,
impressive.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. All right. So we are going to be talking about nutrition today. And I want to have you start with telling us a little bit about what you do here at NorthPoint.
Yeah. As a dietitian here at NorthPoint, we do a ton of different things. Primarily focused on patient care, so seeing patients one-on-one. They typically get a referral from their doctor or someone in the NorthPoint facility. Talk with us. We work on various different projects. For example, we have the food shelf. We also have a teaching kitchen that's coming about. So working
Exciting.
closely with that. So yeah, we do a little bit of everything, but primarily patient care.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I know nutrition can be kind of an overwhelming topic. I know I struggle with nutrition issues and making good choices. So what do you tell guests when they come in? What do you say to them?
Absolutely. So we work with various chronic illnesses, and the fun part about nutrition is it's very individualized, and every patient that walks through our doors are different. So we really focus on the assessment piece where we learn about the patient's life in depth. So we're just trying to find goals for the patient, as well as finding ways to meet them in the middle when it comes to what's going on in their life.
Okay. All right. So let's have a real scenario. So I'm going to put my personal stuff out there. So I'm a diabetic, right? So if I were to come in and talk to you, what would be maybe something that you would say to me? Foods to avoid or tips, or what would you do?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest philosophies here at NorthPoint for myself and Karen, the other dietitian, is we really focus on being able to eat whatever we want for our patients. And with that being said, we have to focus on that moderation standpoint, right? That piece. One of the biggest things specifically to you, right, is as a diabetic, we worry about blood sugar, right? That's the main thing we're focusing on. And there's a misinformation where patients think that their blood sugar rises when they eat. So if they don't eat, then their blood sugar won't rise. But we've learned through research and the way the body works, that's not the case. Your blood sugar can rise without eating anything. So really focusing on eating every 4 to 5 hours is a huge thing. We'd want to work with you.
Right.
And routine's great, kind of like how we have routines throughout the day. Our bodies crave that same thing. So really telling, pushing that towards the patient. And kind of like I said, you can eat whatever you want. Balancing meals is so important, right? Trying to get a fruit or vegetable. An apple a day keeps the doctor away is kind of that saying we've all heard growing up. But, it does have a place with that, not only just for the nutrients that they provide, but there's, helps to reduce risk of inflammation. We talk about everything with our patients, so normal bowel movements, keeps that blood sugar regulated, right?
Okay.
So, really focus on that in that carbohydrate piece as well.
Wow. So then you're able to help our guests with like nutrition plans and things of that nature?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
at NorthPoint, we have a very diverse community, right? So not every, one of the things that a dietitian can do is we can create a meal plan. I try to focus on, like I said, meeting them in the middle, and I don't want them to change their lifestyle towards what might be healthy in an American way, right? So a patient tells me the foods they eat, we're going to keep those foods on their plate, but we're going to change it up a little bit, create a plate that's proportionate and something they can still enjoy, because we want food to be fun still, right? So we're not going to change it completely.
I love that culturally specific meal plans.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Okay, great. So we have a food shelf here at NorthPoint.
We sure do.
Yeah, and so that's really exciting. We have a lot of different options. So if you were a guest coming to NorthPoint, what are some of the things that you would find at the food shelf?
Yeah, so when you walk into our food shelf, it mimics a grocery store. So you walk in there and you're going to see the fresh produce and the meats on one side, and then you might have your canned goods, right? So, we have fresh produce, different types of meats, and then the canned goods could be like beans, maybe some dry storage like rice, canned vegetables. So there's a ton of variety, and it's a great opportunity for patients to come in, get some of the stuff they need. It's very well organized.
Okay. Now, I've heard that eating canned vegetables is not good.
Yeah.
Is that true?
So actually, it's funny you said that. So one of the big things we focus on there is that stigma of canned and frozen might not being as healthy, quote unquote, to fresh produce. And I always try to debunk that by saying we don't discriminate on any of the three. They all three serve a purpose. And actually, what I say is, fresh produce. For example, we live in Minnesota. It's super cold out. If we get some oranges down in Florida, they have to prematurely pick them to get to Minnesota to be fully ripe, right? So they're not getting the full opportunity to grow. So we're losing nutrient value there. Whereas canned and frozen fruits and vegetables, they are picked at the perfect time, right? And there might be a mechanical or a chemical change, maybe like blanching, that might reduce the nutrients a little bit, but at the end of the day, it kind of evens out.
Okay.
So we always promote, if there's farmers markets in the summer, that fresh produce, that is the best produce to get, because it's picked at the right time, and it's from our cities, and you're supporting local community individuals.
Wonderful. Yeah, we've got our free fresh food Fridays in the summer, and I know we have a lot of fresh veggies and produce and things that are available in our community. So.
Yes, absolutely, and definitely taking advantage of that. It's great every other Friday.
Yeah.
It's a really great program.
Wonderful. Well, let's talk a little bit about the grocery store, right? So I heard the other day, I was watching some program, and they were talking about how you should shop the perimeter of your grocery store. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great way. And actually, some of the grocery stores are creating an environment where if you walk in the beginning, it's going to be all fresh produce and, those fruits and vegetables and meats. And they're starting that little alleyway that way. But, when it comes to grocery store, a lot of times we go, if we're hungry, we might go grocery shopping, or two, we don't really have a game plan going in. So I always encourage patients to take advantage of, taking that 5 minutes before going, looking at coupons, right? And that gives you an opportunity to find different foods you might not, be used to buying, but you see like, oh, there's a special on this, let's try it and kind of meal plan around that this week, right? So I think going around the grocery store, does have those more nutrient less processed food options, but I think, looking at ways to save money is so important during this time. Looking through those coupons and kind of going.
Important.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about food access. So we know that I believe North Minneapolis has been labeled as a food desert, right? And we've recently seen some of our grocers, like Aldi, has moved out of the area. Walmart and Brooklyn Center has moved out of the area. We've lost, I think a Walgreens that would have some things. So what do you tell our guests that are challenged with making healthy choices with limited access to food? What do you say to them, Jacob?
Absolutely. So I always promote our food shelf, right?
Yes.
That's a great option. we also, there's the North Market down the street, and I like to say, on Wednesdays they have half off produce, right? So that's a great opportunity to get some of that produce. There's other options available, local food shelves. There's other places where if you look, there might be a food drive at a local church, right? So, and again, there might be a stigma where I don't want to go to a food shelf because I don't want that food because it's either unhealthy or I don't think I need it. But those things are there for a reason. So I really encourage our patients to go take advantage of that, right? Because we're here to help you during certain times. So there are a lot of different things that pop up. So, just asking one of the dietitians or a social worker can, get you connected to some of those things around the area.
Okay, that's good to know. And then you had told me about another option for families. I forget the exact name of it, but it's where you can go and get a food pack.
Yes, Fare for All.
Talk about Fare for All a little bit.
Yeah, so Fare for All is a really great option. I actually used it when I was in college. So it's statewide, and it usually it buys produce and certain meats at wholesale price, and then they sell it in bundles. So you can buy a $20 bundle of meat and fresh produce, and they pop around all over the place in the Twin Cities, and went to St. John. So there was a time they had one in the town I lived in, and I went and got a bundle to try it out. And it could be something from beef to bison, different types of produce. So I think going on their website, taking a look where they are, and if you're able to get there in a certain way, get there and give it a try. It's a really great deal and good food.
Wonderful. That's a very good resource. We need all the resources we can get. So, again, we talked about, just this concept of eating healthy can be so overwhelming, right? Can you share with us maybe 3 things that you do, healthy habits, or maybe 1 or 2, 3 things that you recommend to a patient or guest that comes to see you here at NorthPoint?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things is we got to take a step back, right? Life gets really busy. I think being mindful is one of the biggest ways to, eat well. Knowing exactly what we're putting in our body is, very important. So taking a moment to look at a nutrition label, learning how to read those, knowing what ingredients are in there. We have the internet at the palm of our hand, so looking at what ingredients look like, right? That takes a few minutes. Knowledge is power in that regard. I would also say that giving yourself grace, right? We really try to promote not viewing foods as good or bad. Every food has a place. We'd rather have you eat than not eat. My example is McDonald's, for example. If you get a Big Mac, a lot of my patients say that was bad for me. And I, tell them, well, it had protein, carbohydrates, has a little vegetable, right? That was a fine option in that moment. But once you start eating that Big Mac every single day, that's when those other problems might occur, right? So, and we want to view foods never as bad, right?
Right. No food shaming.
No food shaming.
Okay.
Exactly. No food shaming, and know that every food does have a place.
Okay. That's really good. That's very, very helpful. So how do I, if I'm somebody that's listening, somebody in the audience, how do we get an appointment with you? What do we do? What are the first steps?
Yeah, absolutely. So we get referrals from doctors. So, if you're not a patient here at NorthPoint, if you establish care, that's a really great opportunity. You can ask to speak with a dietitian, a referral will go in place, and we can talk about any chronic illness if you are diagnosed with one, if you're talking about weight management, or if you just want to learn about a nutritious lifestyle, or just have someone to, support you along your journey. We're happy to help, but that's kind of how we, get connected. There's a lot of different dietitians in the community that are self-employed as well, and you can find them that way, but I think a dietitian is really helpful to navigate.
Okay,
those
great.
things out.
And what about, I know we do a lot of outreach in the community. Do we have any support groups, or, you don't want to walk alone in this journey of, you're dealing with high blood pressure, diabetes, or some of the other, chronic diseases that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Is there support available?
There absolutely is, and that's another piece that we do as dietitians is we are a part of certain groups. So we do have a hypertension group at NorthPoint, and there's 3 sessions, and one of them is all about nutrition, an hour and a half with either myself or Karen. So you get a lot of us in that group. We're working on a diabetes program as well, and maybe hopefully in the someday having a diabetes group as well, and weight management group hopefully as well.
Wow, that's awesome.
A lot of things in the works, so more to come.
Because it takes that, you have to have all those things going on, right, to really take care of whatever those issues are. So Jacob, one of our pillars of care is whole person integrated care. And we really want our audience to understand the resources that are available to them here at NorthPoint. Can you talk a little bit about those resources?
Absolutely. So yeah, we dived in about the food shelf and different programs. We also have WIC, Women, Infant, Children, and that is actually in our NorthPoint building as well. And that's helping any pregnant persons, kids under the age of 5, to get resources, right? So you can get options to go to the grocery store and get things that are WIC approved. Maybe some type of Enfamil, which is going to be for infants as well. So there's a lot of options, and they're actually dietitians in WIC, so they're going to help navigate you with that as well. So it's not just Karen and I, but they are dietitians and nutritionists, part of WIC.
Okay.
Outside of that, SNAP is going to be for individuals who socioeconomically having a harder time, and that's through the state. Looking into that and trying to get that as well, and getting those SNAP benefits. They're here for a reason, and we want you to take advantage of those things.
That's awesome. So somebody can come in and meet with someone and get screened to see if they're eligible for SNAP benefits?
Yep.
Okay.
We can definitely talk with that, and then you can come in and like for WIC, come in and meet with one of them, and they can help navigate care as well. So yeah, we're a one-stop shop here at NorthPoint, which is very, very awesome.
I love that one-stop shop. That's great. Now, you mentioned when you first started talking about this test kitchen, right? That's coming. Can you tell us anything? Can you share anything?
Yeah, we're in the early stages. We're really trying to plan on, and it's a smaller area, but it's going to be an opportunity to talk to patients and teach patients ways to cook in a efficient way. Talk about how to use certain foods, and if it's a part of a group that might have a chronic illness, teach them how to cook in a certain way, and having that one-on-one time with a dietitian or another provider. And we're really hoping that doctors are be able to come in and cook some of their favorite dishes, right? Because we want to keep building that rapport with our community and our patients, and I think that's a great way.
Wow.
Food connects us all in some way, shape, or form, so I think it's going to be really fun.
That sounds really exciting. So you're going to come in, you're going to get some education about nutrition and healthy food, and someone's going to demo, give you some resources, and then you get to eat it too, right?
You get to eat it,
Nice.
and we're trying to get it hands-on so that our participants can do some, cutting or whatever the case may be, get the hands-on as well. So,
Wonderful.
Yeah. So more to come on that. It's very exciting times.
Okay, good. Any other resources that you'd share with us? I mean, it's just, where to start, maybe some online resources, or do we have some things on our website? Where would you direct people, Jacob?
Yeah, so on our website, we do have, our NorthPoint Nutrition Service on NorthPoint Health and Wellness website. You can take a look there. Any .gov websites typically have reliable information. There is a lot of misinformation out there in social media and different articles. So, looking for those .govs are going to be important. Otherwise, please don't hesitate to come to NorthPoint and, try to come talk to us. We'd be more than happy to, work with you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we thank you so much for being on the program today.
Yeah.
We want our listeners to feel encouraged because, again, sometimes this can be really overwhelming, thinking about, how busy we get in life and making those choices. If there is anything you'd offer up as an encouragement to somebody listening, what would that be, Jacob?
Yeah, I love to tell my patients, like, if nutrition and eating wasn't hard, I wouldn't have a job, right? So we are here to help you. Nutrition and navigating life with food isn't easy, and I think if you are struggling, know that you're not alone. As a dietitian, I struggle day in and day out about certain things about food as well, and I'm continuing to learn, right? So I think just know that you're not alone. There's a lot of people in your boat, and there's a lot of resources available to help, and we would be more than happy to be there for you. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on the program today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening to this week's Making Health Happen. We want you to know that we're here to partner with you and to help make health happen in your life. To learn more about NorthPoint, call us at 612-543-2500 or visit us on the web at northpointhealth.org.